Lowe's knows how to get you ready for holiday hosting with up to 35% off select home decor. And get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, members get free delivery, haul away, basic installation, parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select LG major appliances. Valid through 10/1. Member offer excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, and Florida. Installed by independent contractors. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Weight loss solutions are not one size fits all. Hers makes it simpler to get started and stick with a weight loss plan, backed by expert-guided online care that puts your weight loss goals first. These include oral medication kits or compounded GLP-1 injections. Through Hers, pricing for oral medication kits start at just $69 a month for a 10-month plan when paid in full upfront. No hidden fees, no membership fees. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hers brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. Reach your weight loss goals with help through Hers. Get started at forhers.com/4u to access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss plans. That's forhers.com/4u, forhers.com/4u. Paid for by Hims and Hers Health. Weight loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at forhers.com apply.
Hi there. Thanks for joining us once again. This is Space Nuts, where we talk astronomy and space science of all kinds, not just the ordinary kind. My name is Andrew Dunkley. I'm your host, and it's great to have your company again. Coming up in this episode, have we found evidence that life once existed on Mars? If you read the popular press, definitely it's life. It's there, but it could be something else. Scientists may have discovered a new class of black hole stars. What's that all about? I think it's something we've already talked about, and we said it was something else. Well, now it's something else again. And another quasi-moon attaches itself to Earth just like a housefly. That's all coming up in this episode of Space Nuts.
15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 10, 9... Ignition sequence start.
Space Nuts.
5, 4, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Space Nuts.
Astronauts report it feels good.
And giggling in the background there like a toddler who's found a kitten is Professor Fred Watson, astronomer at large. Hello, Fred.
Hi, Andrew. It's funny you should mention that. We did find a couple of kittens not very long ago.
Oh, yeah. They're everywhere. I think cats are starting to outgrow the growth rate of another pest species in this country, which is the kangaroo. But yeah, feral cats. Wow, they're one of the biggest problems in the world.
They certainly are, especially in areas like yours. We keep ours under a short leash just to make sure they don't go feral, and give them a talking to every day. Anyway, yeah.
Yes. I've noticed on Instagram people post a lot of cat videos, and one of the common threads at the moment is cats sneaking into the house with a mouse and dropping it in the pot of food. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute. There are too many of these for it all to be happening regularly. I think they're AI.
The AI, yeah.
And it's starting to annoy me that there's so much of this garbage that's being
I heard something on the radio this morning about AI, all about animals doing funny things. Somebody was talking about rabbits bouncing on a trampoline. And,
I've seen that one.
Yeah, Grandma was very impressed, and granddaughter said, "Grandma, it's AI."
Yeah, it's fake. Yeah, and look, they're very clever and they're very good, but I don't want to see it. If it's not real, it's not real.
Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't matter how clever the artificial intelligence is. It's not real, and it just annoys me. Anyway, that's just me.
So if you're a creator of AI rubbish watching this show, don't worry, Andrew doesn't mean it really.
Well, I mean it to a certain degree. I mean,
yes,
if other people enjoy it, that's fine. It's just not for me.
But yeah.
Now, we got a fair bit. Oh, by the way, it was great to see you and Hugh and Marnie the other day while we were down in Sydney with my wife's sister in hospital. So we spent a few days down there. But it was good to be able to catch up and see you for the first time in, I reckon, nearly a decade.
It probably is, yeah.
I mean, I see you once a week, but
Yeah.
face to face in your lovely home, which has that horrible view.
We think it's all right.
and managing to drag Hugh in the studio out of the studio for lunch. That was terrific. That was nice. So thank you to you and Marnie for putting on a lovely spread. We had a great time. Pity we couldn't stay much longer than a couple of hours, but duty called.
Yes,
of the hospital. So, yeah. No, it's terrific. Thank you. Now, question one. Well, not question one. Topic one. Have we found evidence that life once existed on Mars? Now, this story's got a lot of traction. It's popping up everywhere. It's sort of been in the news for a week or two now, but it's obviously one of those science stories that grabs the imagination. Have we found evidence of life on Mars? Now, the popular press is saying, now that we have found evidence of life on Mars, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, hang on a minute. They're jumping the gun, but it's called clickbait, I think. What is the story?
Life, Jim, but not as we know it. I think it's actually it's a geological formation, Andrew. It's basically a rock which has been analysed by the Perseverance rover. Like all rocks that are analysed by not just Perseverance but other rovers on Mars, it's got a name. It's called Chavaja Falls. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a rock that has a few characteristics, and the particular one that's got people excited is what they're calling leopard spots, which they say the best explanation for these leopard spots is biological processes. And this comes from actually a geoscientist and planetary scientist at Stony Brook University in the US. Now, the critical thing here is that this is still on Mars. And the Perseverance has collected a sample of that rock, and you and I have spoken before about the way these samples are collected and put in little cylinders, metal cylinders, for later retrieval. The date for retrieval basically goes backwards at, I think, 1 year per year. We don't know when that's going to happen because the retrieval mission is not in good shape at the moment. I think that's probably still a fair comment. We might hear more soon. Anyway, the best analysis that you can do now is with Perseverance itself. Now, Perseverance is not not devoid of lots of instrumentation that are designed to look for exactly this kind of thing. And so that's why the excitement has come about, because there are a number of features about this rock that tell you that just maybe, these leopard spots came from biological processes. So let me see if I can get the story right. It's basically a rock that has what you might call veins in it. It's got other material in it. And the other material is what suggests that this rock was formed in running water. Can't remember what it is actually. It's basically a mineral formation. So that tells you that there was water present. We know that because that's why Perseverance went to Jezero Crater, because that was once a lake and it had a river delta flowing into it, or a river flowing into it that made a river delta, and that's the area in which this rock was collected. But the bottom line is that these leopard spots, and I'm sorry I'm groping a little bit here because I'm not a mineralogist and I'm not actually a chemist, they are rich in iron phosphate and iron sulfide, probably in minerals which I hadn't actually heard of, vivianite and greigite. But these phosphates have great significance in terms of their, the biological importance. And so what is being suggested is that they could be the product and I'm actually quoting here from the Science Alert piece written by Michelle Starr, a great name for somebody who writes about this kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's essentially they're thought to be the product of what are called electrochemical reduction and oxidation, and they're usually known as redox reactions involving organic carbon, either biological or non-biological. But then there's a quote from an astrobiologist at Texas A&M University, which is, it's not just the minerals, it's how they are arranged in these structures that suggests that they formed through the redox cycling of iron and sulfur. On Earth, things like this sometimes form in sediments where microbes are eating organic matter and breathing rust and sulfate. Their presence on Mars raises the question, could similar processes have occurred there? That's from Michael Tice of Texas A&M University. But then I think this is the critical part, and I'm once again quoting Michelle Starr here from her article. This is where it gets really interesting. The team modeled different processes that can produce the observed mineral composition of the samples, while they were able to identify an abiotic process that reduces sulfate to sulfide to produce a result similar to what is observed in the rocks. That process is extremely slow and requires either high acidity or temperatures in excess of 150 to 200 degrees Celsius. Mars is certainly capable of producing acidic conditions and high temperature through volcanism. However, the rocks show no other signs of being subjected to that level of heat, nor ever being exposed to a low pH, in other words, acidity. And so what they're saying is that because of the absence of other indicators, what you're left with is not the possibility of acidity or volcanism. You're left with biological processes.
Yeah.
So it's a long, deductive process, and it's a paper that's appeared in Nature. That's the the leading journal for this kind of thing. So I think it might be something we take seriously. But the problem is, as Michelle Starr goes on to say, it's going to be difficult to learn more without studying the rocks themselves. Perseverance's suite of instruments is extremely limited compared to what geologists can accomplish here on Earth. And the researchers are itching to get their hands on the collected samples. I bet they are too.
And that could be a long way off.
Yeah.
So we're sitting in here on potential evidence of past life on Mars, or not.
Yeah.
And we can't look at it. Except for the photos that come from
and the analysis by Perseverance's instruments. I mean, in some ways, a discovery like this might spur and I'm sure they don't need it because there's lots going on behind the scenes, but it might spur NASA and perhaps ESA to get their act together in terms of this sample return mission. You probably remember it was all planned and it was all going through the processes, but it was going to cost $11 billion.
Yeah.
And this is in the previous administration. It's not the Trump administration. The previous one, that was felt to be, one step too far. And it needed to be made cheaper. And that's, I think, still where the situation lies.
There is talk that Elon will do it.
Yes, that's right. Elon, I think, offered to do it for $3.50 or something like that. It is possible that Elon could mount a mission to do that, and I'm sure SpaceX is scratching their head and planning away for exactly that.
Yeah, well, I hope he does. Yes, watch this space, but it's potential excitement in terms of finding another world that had life on it. We often speculate about these things, and it's, as you and I have said, it's only a matter of time before we find some form of microbial life, either current or historic, in the solar system. This might be it. It might not. But we can't do anything until we get the samples, and that's the frustrating part.
It is interesting. One of the things we talked about, when you were on, touring the world with Heidi, was some work that was done in the UK. I was
actually with Judy, but I understand.
No, I talked with Heidi. You went with Judy. I wasn't suggesting that Judy was here and Heidi was there.
I know.
When you were touring the world, I spoke with Heidi about something that was recognised in the UK, that there is I can't remember the exact details, but it was a combination of mass spectrometers and some other sort of spectrometer that you can bring to bear on samples to detect whether there are living organisms there. It detects the molecular bonds within lipids, which are, the things that make cell walls and things of that sort. And that's already on Mars. In fact, pretty well all the landers that have ever gone to Mars have carried this kind of equipment. But there you're looking for living organisms. And here we're talking about something that's probably very long dead, perhaps long dead for 3 billion years or something like that. So it's not as easy as that.
No, indeed. But we'll just keep our fingers crossed and hope that sometime in the not too distant future, they'll get these samples back and we'll be able to find out. Absolutely. And if you'd like to chase up that story, it's on the Science Alert website, or you can read the paper that has been published in Nature. And Geordie wants to read it right now, but he's going to have to be patient. Yeah. He was the first person that greeted us at your place the other day.
As he always does.
And I say person because a lot of people consider their dogs to be people, and that's fine. This is Space Nuts. Andrew Dunkley here with Professor Fred Watson. Today's episode of Space Nuts is brought to you by Insta360, the clever folks who make those mind-bending 360 cameras and action cams. And now they've gone pocket-sized with their brand new Insta360 Go Ultra. Now, when I say pocket-sized, I mean it. This thing is about the size of an Oreo. And yes, I checked, you can still eat an Oreo in one bite, but don't try it with this camera. At just 53 grams, it's so light you'll forget it's even there until you see the footage. We're talking silky smooth 4K at 60 frames per second. Not bad for something that lives in your pocket. And it's not just small, it's smart. With a magnetic mounting system, you can clip it to your shirt, your hat, or even stick it on your bike, a street sign, or your fridge if you're filming an action-packed sandwich-making tutorial. It's built to grab unique angles without the fuss. The upgraded sensor means your shots look amazing day or night. It's also waterproof down to 33 feet, so you can take it swimming. Battery life? The standalone camera gives you about 70 minutes. Add the action pod and you're up to 200 minutes. And here's the kicker. With fast charging, you can go from 0 to 80% in just 12 minutes. That's literally grab a coffee, come back, keep filming. Lose it? No problem. It works with Apple Find My. And here's the sweetener. For the first 30 Space Nuts listeners, Insta360 is throwing in free sticky tabs so you can mount it pretty much anywhere. Jackets, backpacks, you name it. Just head to store.insta360.com. Use the code SPACENUTS and you're set. Links are in the show notes. Check it out. The Insta360 Go Ultra. Small camera, big fun.
Okay, we checked all 4 systems and keying with a go.
Space Nuts.
Now to another discovery, or maybe it's a discovery, and it sort of carries on from something we spoke about last week when we asked the question, Hey, Geordie, have we discovered a primordial black hole? Now they're saying no, because we may have discovered a new class of black hole stars. They're the same stories, one into the other, or they're different completely?
It's really interesting because it's the evidence that's the same story.
Yes.
And I think on Space Nuts, we've now covered this 3 times.
And it keeps changing.
Yeah, and it keeps changing. The little red dots that are being detected by the James Webb Telescope at very, very great distances, very high redshifts, as we put it. In other words, these are things that we see when the universe was in its infancy. And so the little red dots have been thought to be galaxies and have been thought to be evidence of primordial black holes. But some recent work has once again looked at the little red dots. This is basically a group headed by scientists at Pennsylvania State University in the US. We thought they were galaxies, and they're red partly because they're highly redshifted. That's to say, the light from them has been stretched by the expansion of the universe because it's been traveling for 13.5 billion years or something of that sort. But the latest is, in some ways, even more intriguing. And it's because they actually, the new research suggests that you are looking not at galaxies, but basically at gigantic stars. So single stars, which are huge and possibly at their center have a black hole. So what you've got here is a process that, it's independent of galaxy formation. We now think that the black holes build up their mass very early in the universe, and that acts as a mass concentrator, and gas falls into it. The gas forms stars, and you get galaxies around the black holes, which very quickly become supermassive.
Yeah,
but the idea here is that the gas has simply concentrated around the black hole and got hot. So it's not basically nuclear fusion that's making them shine, which is what happens in stars, but the black hole in the center that's essentially accreting the matter, it's pulling in the matter, and the energy from that process is what makes them luminous. It's a bit like, we know that accretion disks around a black hole, for example, in the center of our own galaxy, that disk of material swirling around the black hole gets very hot, and it releases both X-rays and radio waves, which we see as the object Sagittarius A star in the radio spectrum. So it's that kind of process. It's the process of black holes pulling things in, making them compress very high and getting very excited, that actually gives the energy of the star itself. And by star, I'm putting it in inverted commas because it's so big. And it's cold. It's not heated by nuclear fusion. There's a comment here from one of the researchers at Penn State saying, let me read the quote. It's actually quite nice. We looked at enough red dots until we saw one that had so much atmosphere that it couldn't be explained as typical stars, as we'd expect from a galaxy. And so the researchers believe that these objects are driven, as I said, by supermassive black holes in their centers. And going on to quote again, it's Joel Leher, I think is the name of this person. It's an elegant answer, really. We thought it was a tiny galaxy full of many separate cold stars, but it's actually effectively one gigantic, very cold star. And that is so new, it's mind-blowing. And of course, what you need is many more observations, lots more spectroscopy, and basically a lot of perhaps more theoretical work. Another quote from that same scientist: "These black hole stars might be the first phase of formation for the black holes that we see in galaxies today, supermassive black holes in their little infancy stage." So,
wow,
work that one out.
Yeah, because the biggest question, Fred, is what's this going to be next week?
What is a little red dot going to be next week? I've got a little black dog here looking after me. Could be a little black dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a fascinating story, and it just sort of keeps evolving. I suppose the more they look at it, the more we might understand. And I always use the word may or might, or the words may or might, when it comes to this kind of thing, because you can never be absolutely 100% certain in many facets of astronomy and space science, because sometimes we just aren't sure Although they're starting to really hone in on this one by the sound of it. So that's
correct.
Good
Yeah.
news.
That's the thing about science. So covering 3 different stories about little red dots in the last 2 months or so tells you how science works. And at the moment, science is powering ahead. It's going so quickly, the discoveries that are being made. Part of that is the tools we've got now, and the James Webb Telescope has definitely been a game changer in that
Absolutely. Yeah, it just keeps bringing up all sorts of new things. It's fascinating. There seems to be a story every other day from the James Webb Space Telescope. Just terrific. If you would like to read up on these potential black hole stars, you can do that at cosmosmagazine.com, or you can read the paper at Astronomy and Astrophysics. Let's take a break from the show and talk about our sponsor, NordVPN. Now, if you care about your privacy online, maybe it's time to start thinking about a virtual private network, and NordVPN is by far the best you can get. It's one of the fastest and most trusted VPN services as well, helping you protect your personal data, secure your internet connection, and browse with peace of mind, whether you're at home or on public Wi-Fi. With just one click, NordVPN encrypts your traffic, hides your IP address, keeps your information safe from hackers, trackers, and snoopers. And you can also access content from around the world without restrictions, thanks to thousands of servers in over 60 countries. And as a listener of Space Nuts, you get an exclusive deal at nordvpn.com/spacenuts. Huge savings, plus an extra 4 months free when you sign up. It's simple, it's fast, it's secure, it works. Go to nordvpn.com/spacenuts and take control of your internet experience today. That's nordvpn.com/spacenuts. Don't forget the code word spacenuts and their 30-day money-back guarantee. Now, back to the show.
0G and I feel fine.
Space Nuts.
Righto, Fred, let's nail down our last story. And this is something that seems to be happening semi-regularly now. Another quasi-moon is attaching itself to Earth. In some places we call these leeches. In other places we call them black flies or house flies because they just annoy the bejeebies out of people. Yes, another one. I think this is about the third one we've talked about since we started doing the podcast that I'm aware of.
Yes, that's probably right. So it's a quasi-moon. It's something like 20 meters or so across. Mm-hmm. So a tiny object. It's comparable, actually, as one of the commentators has said, comparable with the object that exploded over Chelyabinsk in 2013. And that is small enough that it kind of eludes the gaze of telescopes, unless you're fortunate. This one didn't. It was found not very long ago, on the 2nd of August 2025, by astronomers with the Pan-STARRS 1 telescope at Haleakala Observatory, which is on the island of Maui in Hawaii. That telescope is close to my heart because Marnie and I got married in front of it.
That's right.
On top of the mountain, just actually over the top of the hill. And of course, Pan-STARRS is doing a fabulous job in detecting these near-Earth objects, the small objects, which NASA was mandated by Congress to find everything down to a size of 140 meters, I think, is the limit. This is much smaller than that. So it was thought to be a sort of bog-standard near-Earth asteroid. It was given such a designation, 2025 PN7. That's typical of the asteroidal naming until an asteroid's given a more elegant name. But what's now happened is there's actually an astronomer who is a French astronomer who looked at the details and basically came to the conclusion that this is actually a quasi-moon. What does that mean? It means it's in an orbit actually around the sun, but that orbit is very much controlled by the Earth. So it's almost like this thing's following the Earth around in its orbit. There are a number of objects that do this. The perhaps the best known one, and I'm struggling to remember its name, Kruthner, named by a colleague of mine who found it when he worked at the UK Schmidt Telescope, Duncan Waldron, still very active in the astronomy world up there in Brisbane. So Kruthner is in a sort of what you might call a kidney-shaped orbit if you look just at the Earth. So it sort of looks as though it's in orbit around the Earth, but it's not. It's in orbit around the Sun. And 2025 PN7 is in a similar situation. However, scientists at a number of institutions, some of them I think are in Spain actually, have analysed its orbit and reckon that it's only been there for about 60 years. And that it will probably only be there for about another 60 years because its orbit is not stable. It's not stable over a long period. So they reckon for about 128 years it will be a quasi-satellite of the Earth, but we will eventually lose it. But it's whilst it's here, it's one that deserves further study, and that is exactly what's happening.
I think they're saying that at the moment there are 6 other quasi-moons, so this makes 7. Currently doing, their dance. These things must come and go fairly regularly over time, I would imagine. And the good news is they don't think this one's going to pose any form of threat to Earth at all, unless you live in Chelyabinsk or any other similar-sized city. But stay away from the windows is basically the best advice.
That's right. Yes, I think there's another one which is of interest. Another of those 7 that you mentioned, Kamaoalewa, discovered again, I think, by Pan-STARRS, hence the Hawaiian name. That lasts for 381 years, apparently. It'll be a quasi-moon. But what's of interest is that, if I remember, it's called Tianwen-2, a Chinese spacecraft, which is going to rendezvous with it sometime within the next year or so, I think, if I remember rightly.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. We might learn something from that.
Yeah.
If they tell us. Yeah. But yes, these quasi-moons are interesting, and it's the instability of their orbits that makes them sort of fly off and disappear into the ether.
That's right.
Yeah. So where do they go?
Somewhere else.
Somewhere else. That's good. It's a good answer. Very good answer. Yeah. All right. If you'd like
they're in orbit around the Sun, so they basically just continue with that. And
until they get captured by something else, I suppose. But yes. All right. You can read up on that story on this rather interesting website called The Brighter Side. Brighterside.news, in fact. And that brings us to the end of this particular episode. Fred, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome, Andrew. It's great to catch up again.
Yeah, it is. It was nice to see you and Marnie and Hugh in the studio the other day, who wasn't in the studio, strangely enough. And he's not in the studio today. I don't know what he's doing. He's probably playing with Geordie or something, kidnapping
Geordie?
feral cats. That's one of his hobbies. Yeah. Thanks, Fred. We'll catch you real soon.
Sounds good. See you later.
And thanks for watching and or listening to Space Nuts. Don't forget to check out our show notes. Show nuts. I suppose we could call them that. Show notes at the bottom of the page on whatever platform you follow us on, and social media, of course, and our website, spacenutspodcast.com or spacenuts.io, where you can visit the shop and find out about more and more stuff, or sign up for Astronomy Daily so you can get a newsletter of current events in astronomy and space science. But that's it. We'll catch you on the next episode, a Q&A episode coming up next week. We'll see you then. From me, Andrew Dunkley, Bye-bye.
Space Nuts.
You've been listening to the Space Nuts podcast.
Mission complete, Houston.
Available at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player. You can also stream on demand at Bytes.com.
This has been another quality podcast production from Bytes.com.
Lowe's knows how to get you ready for holiday hosting with up to 35% off select home decor. And get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, members get free delivery, haul away, basic installation, parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select LG major appliances. Valid through 10/1. Member offer excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, and Florida. Installed by independent contractors. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wonderside's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wonderside.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wonderside.com. Wonderside. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wonderside today.